name is Jackie Russo, and one of the principals of EnviroMed Design Group. I graduated from Baylor College of Dentistry and practiced cosmetic and reconstructive dentistry for 16 years. 10 years ago, I was in the exact same place you are today, wanting a new facility, mine was pathetic, but not knowing how to get started. I decided to build my dream office in 1999 with the help of THE Design. My office exceeded even my greatest expectations, and I looked forward to going to work every day in the new office. My team and our patients' response was unanimously positive, and as a result, not only did my enjoyment practicing dentistry increase, but my profitability did as well. Unfortunately, I ended up with arthritis in both of my hands and had to retire early from dentistry. But the really good news about this story is that I was able to sell my practice for more than its appraised value because the facility was so world-class with no detail left to chance. That experience so changed my life that I became a passionate student of dental office design and have been helping dentists create beautiful and ergonomic dental offices ever since. I've helped hundreds of dentists refine their vision, determine their equipment needs, and calculate their new office budgets over the past 8 years. It's my sincere hope that by starting with the end in mind, empowered with knowledge, we can help you maneuver through this process using a team approach and minimize the stress that can come from doing a project like this alone. We'll begin this program as if we were working with an actual client coming to us to build a new office. We will ask you to begin with the end in mind. Too often, the dentists only understand the pain they feel in their existing office. We know we need a change, but we haven't put together a key list of questions to help assure an optimal outcome. It's similar to presenting a comprehensive treatment plan to a patient, but without the diagnostic workup, it's a difficult, inefficient, and often unsuccessful journey. Now is the perfect time to sit down and compile a list of everything you want to create in your new office in a perfect world. Explore your long-term vision. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? How about 10 years? And even into retirement. There are several key questions you need to answer before any planning begins. The first is, what is your exit strategy? How much longer do you want to practice in the new facility? These questions might help you determine if you should lease or build something from the ground up. Next, will you be bringing on an associate in the future? If so, will you need extra treatment rooms or will you be splitting shifts? Planning ahead for additional service providers can not only save headaches with remodeling, but can save you money in lost production if you had to add operatories later. What statement do you want to make with the new office? Do you want it to be high-tech and modern or cozy and inviting? Consider your patient demographics here and don't believe the old wives' tale that your patients will be offended if you have too nice an office. Believe me, they want to know you're good at what you do, and they'll appreciate a well-designed and well-appointed office, especially if their needs are given priority. Next, you have to ask yourself, will you want to grow your practice or redefine the way you practice? This question will help you determine adequate square footage of your space. And lastly, you must ask yourself, what are your financial goals in the new facility, and how will the facility support those goals? Again, take a hard look at your current facility and see how it might be holding you back in this area. Next, we need to focus on goals and what needs to change with regards to your current office. Make a list of everything that's inefficient and incongruent with the level of dentistry you provide, and also any equipment that's not ergonomic. Include your team in these discussions because most of the time they have invaluable insight. Remember, the public areas like the reception area and even the patient toilet, these areas formulate your patient's first impression of the office, so don't scrimp here. A few well thought out concessions for your patient's comfort will go a long way in patient loyalty. A detailed equipment list is very important to develop. Lose everything in the office that's not ergonomic. Your health is the most important aspect of office design. Contrarily, keep items that are functional even if they're old. Refurbishing equipment may be more cost-effective, and often the older models are more durable than their new replacements. Add any technology that has a return on investment in time savings and improved efficiency. Understand what equipment makes you money and what equipment is a luxury. This is a great time to retain an unbiased professional to help you fine-tune your needs and establish your budget. Before we move on to actual design concepts, let me reiterate the importance of visualizing the new office in your mind. This process of building a new office is both time-consuming and stress-producing. You'll need a clear vision of the end result to keep you focused and energized throughout your journey. There are many beautiful offices to inspire you in all of the dental journals, and you can certainly find thousands of ideas by surfing the internet. We're no longer bound by traditional design or traditional materials. Your designer can guide you to choose elements that will achieve your goals and be durable and timeless. Start collecting photos of design elements that are attractive to you so you can have a place to begin with your designer. Remember, this is the opportunity for your practice to be transformed into everything you've ever dreamed about. There are no limits to your imaginary office during this step, so go for it.
We've all heard the statement, form follows function. Well, that statement remains true, and in dental office design, function is critical for a successful design. A mentor of mine many years ago shared with me the formula for success. He told me function plus image equals success. Now, function is the key, and image doesn't work without it. A little later in this presentation, we are going to focus on the impact function has on design. However, right now, we want to begin with image. Image is what your patients see, their first impression. So what better place to start than the front door? The entrance of your office is one of the first opportunities for you to make a good first impression. Often, this is one of the most overlooked areas when it comes to design. How would you feel if you approached this office? What statement does it make? The bars on the windows and doors may be a necessity in this neighborhood. However, the feeling you get when you drive up to this building is not one of trust or comfort. How do you feel when you approach this office? There's no doubt that this is a dental office because the sign says so. Does the front entrance invite you in, or does it make you feel like there's some bad stuff going on behind those blinds? Now, what impression do you get when you drive up to this office? Notice the attention given to the landscaping and signage. You can tell that the sign was designed to be part of the building. The materials used match and complement the exterior of the building. The lighting is a great touch as it illuminates the sign at night, continuing to advertise this dental office well into the evening. Many of our past clients have told us that they are continually amazed at how many people drive by their office and then come in asking if they're accepting new patients. Your new office can and will be a powerful marketing tool. The entrance is often how patients, especially new patients, judge you. It doesn't matter whether you're in a leased space or in a new building, you need to pay attention to the entrance and the statement it makes. If you're planning to move into a leased space, don't be afraid to ask what your options are for enhancing your entrance. Make this part of your lease negotiations. Even if you're only allowed a small side light window, take advantage of it and do what you can to open up the space and invite patients in. And don't forget about the signage. Again, explore the options with your new landlord. Many times, patients are apprehensive about coming to the dentist. Make your entrance attractive and welcoming. And don't forget about the parking. Oftentimes, city requirements for parking fall short of what you actually need. Always make sure you allow enough parking spaces for you, your patients, and your staff. One of the first questions you should ask yourself is, what image does my office convey to my patients? Does the image of my office reflect the level and quality of service that I provide? Let's take a look at the reception area. When was the last time you were in your reception area? Think about it. You probably rarely have a need to even go into that part of the office. Now, the next time you do, sit down, relax, look around, and check out the space. Do you like what you see? Is your reception area outdated? Are the plants dead or alive? Because nothing gives a bad impression more than dead plants in the reception area. Resist the temptation to take your furniture from home and place it in your office. It might sound like a good idea, but it's not. The furniture in the reception area needs to be commercial-grade furniture to hold up to the amount of traffic it receives on any given day. Just because it's commercial grade doesn't mean it has to look stuffy or businesslike. You can still get that home-like feel without taking furniture from your house or buying residential pieces. The decor and design of the reception area space will have an impact on your patients, and you want it to be a positive one. Pay attention to the details, the ceiling design, the lighting, and the accessories. Make sure you allow enough seating for the size of the office you have. Now, depending on the design scheme, individual seating may be more appropriate, or you may prefer groups of seating that showcase lounge chairs or sofas. Maybe you want a more home-like atmosphere, something that's professional yet cozy. Material selection, colors, and styles make for an interesting design and really makes a positive statement about who you are and the kinds of services you provide. The image you project should create a feeling of high trust and low fear, not the other way around. Although you may find this intriguing, unfortunately, most of your patients won't. This just adds to the fear that they may have already had before they entered your building. Make the space inviting, warm, and welcoming. Again, you want to pay attention to things like the lighting and the artwork, the plants, and the accessories. Oftentimes, the artwork and accessories are forgotten, and that's really unfortunate. It's almost like making a cake and leaving off the frosting. The artwork is truly the final touch, the finishing piece. So give your patients a place to wait where they feel comfortable and at ease. Efficiency is acting effectively with a minimum of waste. This is important in design, especially in areas where square footage is minimal. If you're lucky and have ample space to design within, you still want your design to be efficient and functional. A great example of this is the front desk. It should have a designated greetings and appointment area. Little activity occurs at the greetings portion of the desk, so the space does not need to be large. However, it should be inviting and clear to the patient that this is where they need to come and check in. A greater amount of activity occurs at the appointments area, so you should allow for more space here. With this front desk, it's hard to know where the check-in is or where the check-out is. There is no separation between the tasks that occur at this desk, and there isn't much space behind the desk for more than one person to work. Profitability goes hand in hand with productivity. You need to allow enough space and enough room for your staff to perform their task efficiently and effectively. Imagine the amount of stress this person has to experience on a daily basis just because his or her space is not designed efficiently. Whereas this desk creates an environment for the staff to work that is clean and free of clutter, and it better serves the patient. In addition, the mobile pedal stools allow for flexibility in the work area, and it provides for additional storage. They have ample lighting overhead as well as the task lighting in the business area. Have you ever had a patient that needed to discuss financial matters within a private area? Where do you go? Do you have this conversation chairside, or do you bring them to the private office? Unfortunately, many times these conversations occur right at the front desk, within earshot of everyone in the reception area. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a semi-private financial area where these conversations could occur? Imagine what this could do for your business, for your collections and your payments. Now imagine what it would be like to present your patient's treatment plan in this room. Financial arrangements could be discussed in private. Or think about how nice it would be to have a space to bring a new patient for their initial consultation or first meeting. Occasionally, this space may be used as a VIP waiting area, or the space may be used for someone to relax in during long procedures. How a consultation room is used largely depends on how you practice and what your practice goals are. Studies have shown that when using a consultation room that meets your needs, case acceptance will soar. When presented in an environment that reflects the level of dentistry you are providing, this raises the patient's confidence and trust. A consultation room allows you to become more efficient, more effective, and more profitable.
Now, let's switch gears and talk about the single most important consideration when designing a new dental office, in my opinion, and that is ergonomics. The focus of ergonomics is to minimize both physical and environmental stressors and to reduce the potential for bodily harm to the dental team. Dentists report musculoskeletal disorders at a 5 times greater rate than the general population. It's therefore extremely important that form follow function in the clinical and business areas in order for the health of everyone on the team to be preserved. In the operatory, it's essential to design the workstation to allow the dentist and the assistant to be seated in optimal positions. This means we must allow for adequate space between the patient chair, the side wall, as well as the back wall. Lighting and ventilation must be adequate to make working comfortable for the operators. And the edges of work surfaces should be rounded, and adequate room to maneuver should be provided in all treatment areas. Working in this operatory with the operator shoved up against the wall would give anyone a backache, and the assistant is certainly not working ergonomically in this situation either. While the dentist may be better positioned in this example, there's no way the assistant can be effective, considering she has to straddle not only the delivery system, but a keyboard as well. Fixed rear delivery is not an ergonomic option. I repeat, is not an ergonomic option for the assistant or the dentist. Both have to twist or leave their seat to reach the support cabinetry. This type of activity wastes time and causes undue stress on both the dentist and the assistant. While we recommend the X-ray tube head and most of the equipment be positioned on the 12 o'clock wall, there is no support cabinetry in this example for the assistant. And by the way, if any of these operatories look familiar, no worries. We all came from humble beginnings. And it really does help to know what we definitely don't want in our new office as we begin our journey. Many mistakes in design are due to the operatory size being too wide, forcing the assistant to get up and down from her stool to reach something on the side cabinet. Both the dentist and assistant should remain seated with proper posture during the majority of the procedure and be able to reach the support cabinetry without leaning or getting out of their chair. Many dentists think they want a big, huge operatory because they've always felt cramped. But from an efficiency standpoint, even though this operatory is beautiful and spacious, it's not optimally ergonomic. By contrast, a well-designed operatory has optimal dimensions so that both operators can reach the support cabinetry without leaving their seat or twisting at the waist. All of the equipment is installed off the rear utility wall, leaving the side cabinetry uncluttered. The operatory should fit the dentist and the assistant like a cockpit, with everything they need within arm's length, minimizing repetitive stress injuries and wear and tear on all of the operators. Dual entry into the operatory provides a path of least resistance for both the dentist and the assistant. It also minimizes stress, and it allows easy exit without repositioning the patient or disrupting the procedure. Ergonomics is not just a health consideration, but it's also a productivity issue. In this sterilization area, we have too many functions going on in one small space. This area is not only the sterilization area, but the lab and the kitchen all in one. Can you imagine the chaos on a busy day in this practice? In this example, we have overlap of function also, but worse than that, there's no work surface available. We will discuss the amount of linear surface needed to support the function in the clinical areas a little later in this presentation, but this sterilization area surely lacks adequate workspace. In contrast, here we have a well-planned out sterilization area with designation between the clean and dirty side and plenty of workspace. There's also plenty of room between the counters for two assistants to be working in the sterilization area at the same time, and thereby increasing efficiency. With the practice goals as the focus of design, we can incorporate ordering and communication stations in the clinical areas near central sterilization, again, to maximize efficiency. Clinical personnel should not have to leave the treatment area to complete their tasks. Customized Steri-Centers can be designed for long, narrow lease spaces. The big advantage here is if they're customized, there will be an adequate workspace available for about 1/3 the cost of the prefab Steri-Centers available today. Custom design of upper cabinetry to support all procedures performed in the office allows the countertops to remain uncluttered, which also increases efficiency. Now that we've discussed the three principles of starting with the end in mind, which are image, efficiency, and ergonomics, let's move on to the three areas of focus when starting the planning and design.
As you just heard from Jackie, there are three areas to focus on as you prepare to build a new office, relocate, or remodel. Those three areas are planning, design, and construction. Building your dream dental office can be the most rewarding experience of your life with the right plan, a well thought out comprehensive plan. Did you know that based on a national average, over 50% of offices designed don't get built because the focus was solely on design. Planning wasn't even a consideration. Planning will take the fear out of doing the project. One of the main aspects of planning is financing, and financing is one of the biggest reasons why projects don't get completed. Many of you will be surprised at the cost of building a new office, and if not planned for up front, it will delay or even squelch your dream of a new office. If you're doing a new office, you may have 2 or 3 loans, and that is not uncommon. Even though you may have a great relationship with your bank, be willing to explore other options as well. Keep an open mind. Talk to a variety of lenders. And before talking with them, you must have a realistic idea of what your project's going to cost. It's a good idea to get an unbiased professional to work with you on your budget and provide you with a project cost projection. This projection should contain the capital cost as well as the non-capital cost. If you're purchasing property or a condo or an existing building, those costs need to be included. If you're renting space, rental rates need to be reflected as well as any potential finish-out allowance. And don't forget the budget for the dental and technology equipment, the furniture and the accessories. Oftentimes, those are the items that are left off or they're forgotten about, and then cuts need to be made to make them fit in to an already tight budget. Or worse, you're forced to use your old equipment and furnishings when you move in. The project cost projection should be very comprehensive and include all potential costs for your project. You don't want any surprises along the way, so planning will avoid that. Remember that thorough planning is necessary prior to beginning design on any project. It will not only save you time, but also money. When it comes to design, you must assemble a good team, one you can trust and have confidence that they will design an office that meets your needs, not theirs. If you can hire a team with dental office design experience, that's a plus. They should begin their design process with thorough programming. It's imperative that they have a complete understanding about how you practice and what your desired outcome is for the new office. By having an experienced design team on your side, you get to practice dentistry versus teaching them about how you practice. Time is your biggest commodity, and you don't want to take time away from what you do best. In this picture, you will see how an experienced team uses lighting to create a soothing atmosphere in the corridors of the treatment areas. This is done with uplights and with wall sconces. Then in the treatment rooms, the lighting becomes more functional for the practitioner. This is just one of many examples of the details a good design team will introduce into your office design. Remember, function is the key in design, and aesthetics add the finishing touch. There are many people involved in planning, designing, and constructing an office. In many cases, a dentist may have 10 to 20 project team members, depending on the size and scope of the project. Some of these team members may include the architect, interior designer, contractor, engineers, dental supplier, financial advisor, technology specialist, practice management consultants, attorney, real estate agent, or a lease negotiator, and this is just to name a few. Knowing who does what, when, and where are critical to have the project move smoothly. Now, let's not forget about construction. This is where the dream becomes a reality. Your contractor needs to be someone you can count on to see this project through completion. And he must be good at what he does, for you have spent a lot of time and money to get to this point. The contractor is now the captain of the ship, and he will need to navigate the budget and the time for a successful completion. Your contractor and his team needs to be able to work with the design team as well as other members of the project. They are, after all, on the same side. And as a larger team, they have one goal, and that's to transform the vision, the goals, and dreams into a terrific new office, one that you and every team member can be proud of. Allow plenty of time in your overall process. The office we just showed you took almost 2 years from start to finish, including securing the land, planning, design, permitting, pricing, and construction. Please don't cut yourself short on time. Whether you're moving into a lease space or building from ground up, you must allow enough time to have it done right. If you rush the process, it will end up costing you money. This may be the only office you build, so do it right the first time and take the proper steps and focus on planning, design, and construction. And above all, remember to have fun and enjoy the process.